Hi, I'm Michael Ingui, and this is my wife Diane,
Hi.
Our dog Gigi, and welcome to our home. Not only was the architect, Diane helped design it, our brother-in-law built it. Most of the people who were involved in the project were friends. My friend was a stair builder, electrician, plumber. So we got to work with a lot of people that we've been friends with for forever. Doors and windows are from Zola, and we've known them forever. So it was a fun project. The house was a mess, which we loved. It needed a lot of structural work. It also had some real kind of water damage and other items from a pet that had lived upstairs for too long. And it gave us the opportunity to create kind of an interesting space throughout. It is a 16-foot wide house. So these are narrow, relatively deep houses, 16 foot by 45 feet. So making these houses feel big is always the challenge. Our office has done a whole bunch of these, so we have a good sense of what we wanted to do, and doing things like removing what was a bearing wall here, putting in a stair that's more gradual, and really creating spaces that work well with each other.
We had fun designing it together. Every step that we took along with our contractor, who is our brother-in-law, was very collaborative. We just shared a lot of ideas together and disagreed a lot, but it was great. In the end, it turned out exactly the way we had envisioned it.
So we left the historic surround in place. We installed a Passive House door. One of the really great things about these doors is just how quiet they allow the house to be. It's really, really quiet. It's serene. It's hard to quantify that. People have to walk into these houses to really feel it. But it's, as soon as we walk a client through a Passive House, it's one of the things they notice immediately. And then all of a sudden they kind of smell and feel fresh. So that is also a huge difference. It also really frees the designer, because I've got an air conditioning or heating grill there. We don't really need heat. So the heat's, I mean, how many times this year did we use the heat?
I think maybe 3 times so far this winter.
Yeah, so and we
for a few hours each time, not even a full day.
Yeah, so like it hit 19 degrees, but these houses just don't need that much heat. So it frees the designer. I've got a grill there and I've got another one over here, and that's it. No radiators. It allowed us to do some really fun things that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise, which is so important in a narrow house to kind of help the spaces communicate. Gigi's going to help me describe this. We've got this really large expanse of glass. I've got no radiators. It's never cold here. It's such a continuous flow of air based on the ERV that's just continuously running. It is really a fresh air system, but it runs 24/7, and it just allows the air to really feel continuous throughout, which is important, especially if you're not using your heating and cooling.
So we have this beautiful magnolia tree outside in the spring. It has these beautiful pink flowers that I'm highly allergic to. So if we keep our windows and doors closed because of the fresh filtered air that we generate 24 hours a day, I don't need my allergy medication while in the house.
Which is
but once
first.
I step outside, literally it will take 10 seconds when I'll need allergy medication and then some, because of that tree and all the other trees that are blooming at the time.
We kind of added this bridge somewhat last minute and decided that it would be great to get out. We made that a sliding door versus just a big window, which is what it was going to be, and then created multiple versions of what this platform would feel and look like, because we really just wanted this to look like it was sitting on that. And then these are all hand carved. The stair company that we work with, who's located out of Greenpoint, Brooklyn, they have 2 people who do nothing but carve these cool handrails. So just having access to them is so nice, and it's definitely one of the things that's helped our office do some fun work that we just couldn't have done otherwise.
Coming down the stairs, we wanted something very sculptural and something that would connect the garden floor with the parlor floor in a really welcoming, way. And what I was most interested in is that it would have to spit out right into the kitchen. When we have get-togethers, we've also had very large parties, and it makes it for a really nice flow. Usually the adults love to stay around here where the food and the drinks are, and parents can watch their kids because you could see right up through our double height space, and it's very connected and it feels really spacious.
Diane always wanted a live edge counter.
Our cabinet maker knew that, so he had it in mind to look out for, he has walnut trees in the forest by him. He has a wooded area, and he found a dead walnut tree, thought about us, grabbed it, stored it for us until we got this house.
Yep.
And we got a nice piece.
Milled it, and he milled it into a number of different pieces. This is one. He's got another, and then 3 or 4 were just sold to other people who might want the live edge. But it was kind of fun. It's a little heavy, but it's helpful to, when we were looking at the kitchen, we wanted to mix a few things. We liked the kind of the simple kind of whitewashed oak. We wanted a fun backsplash, and then with the counters, we're using just a quartz because it performs well.
I was very apprehensive about white, all white, and the quartz, but so far, and I cook a lot. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Talk about the induction cooktop, though. I mean, I would say with our clients, the induction cooktop is like the gateway to doing a passive house that's all electric, because giving up gas had to be our scariest experience.
We cook a lot, and I wasn't sure if this induction situation was going to work out for me because I'm so used to gas. I've used electric before, but sporadically in other homes. But once I got this, it actually reminded me a lot about, when I've used electric stovetops, and it doesn't make a difference to me, except it is a lot faster and cleaner. It's easy to clean, and I could use it as extra countertop space when it's not in use, unlike a gas stove where it has all the grooves and all the bumps and it's hard to clean. This is very easy, and I kind of love it, and I don't think I would ever want to go back to gas ever again.
One of the things that we've done is create this double height space. One of the reasons we did it is to let this kitchen connect really well with the living room above, as well as the dining room and den here. The other reason we did it is the ceiling height in a lot of these 16-foot wides. This is barely 8 feet. So just to have something where you're spending all of your time, have a little bit more height, or a lot more height.
It gave us the opportunity to have a tree in the house.
Which is a lot of fun. When we first got this, tree was only
3 feet tall,
yeah.
And it just bloomed.
Yeah, it really likes it here.
Because it was trying to catch up with the upper floor and the sunlight coming in.
And then just kind of coming back to the kitchen counter and backsplash, we work with Johnny from CMB Marble. He also was able to create some other fun stuff with some of the leftover slab material. So he created this cool table, another stand over there,
right
pedestal. These are all tight spaces, so having something that kind of works sculpturally, where the stair came down and kind of let you kind of flow through, but come into the kitchen, and having all this work out between stair builder and contractor. So it's like 3 different companies working in one. And they just know they know how to do it. Same thing with the underside of the bridge. Someone's idea was to just wrap the bottom of it with the wood floor, so we did that. Again, kind of coming back to some of the collaborative stuff. A lot of it was just job site meetings over beer and too much pizza, and we were just kind of debating stuff a lot, just coming up with fun answers that we really liked.
This is our entrance at the garden floor, and we wanted this space, since it's so narrow and long, to be airy and welcoming and happy. So we chose all white on this side so it could be clean and it's not oppressive, because it would be with another color. And we chose a super happy wallpaper on this side from Flavor Paper, because this is supposed to be a humongous mural, and it wasn't as fuzzy as you see it now. Flavor Paper, they helped us enlarge the image and fuzz it out a little bit, and they helped us pick a piece of the very large mural that would fit best on this space right here, and it turned out exactly how we wanted. And it's a very welcoming space for such a narrow area. And she loves sleeping here. It's her favorite space.
Let's go down to my favorite place in the house.
My least favorite.
Always the case. We have a sculptural stair kind of coming down here, and really it's just a straight stair with the bottom 2 or 3 treads just curved. And we did that for a few different reasons. One is we really want to kind of spit you out into the space. But the other is that it's really tight, like really tight. So it only worked this way. And this is our Zola airtight door, because you can kind of hear it, right? I mean, this is just wood. There's no insulation there. I didn't need it, but you could just hear it. The ceiling is my airtight layer. You can see my ERV tubes for the kitchen. We still designed this like a passive cellar. I still have my Stego wrap below the slab. You can start to see the Stowe gold comes down all the way to here, which is what we used for our side walls. We actually just painted it white. It was yellow. So this is what brings us to our airtight layer. At some of the more complicated spots, we used plywood to cut it out and just to make sure we got it covered. But the reason why it's an airtight layer on the ceiling versus being part of the envelope is because I paint a lot. It allows the fumes to stay down here. What's cool about this is we tested this house to see whether it had the proper air seal to be passive certified with that door open and closed. Even with it open, we were way below 1.0. So it works either way. The other interesting thing about this space is it's never had heat or cooling. I mean, I've got a Mitsubishi installed at the front. I don't even know if it's hooked up. I don't know that the thermostat works. I've just never had to do it. It's always like 68 degrees here. Once you're all electric, one of the things that we realized, and it's happening with all of our clients, we're trying to tweak these things. So if you don't need heat, and I've brought the load of the house down so much, all of a sudden we're not even thinking about passive house anymore. Now we want to like tweak it. And what you realize is that no matter almost what you do, the hot water heater winds up becoming your biggest electrical draw. So you're just kind of trying to tweak it. What if I used a pump that was that had a timer on it, so it's only pumping for the hours that I needed it? What if it's a smart pump? And they sell all of these things, and so we're really kind of tweaking it. It's part of the fun part of what we're all doing with Passive House now. We're way beyond passive, and we're just really just looking at how do we get the best performance. So like when people are over and we need 6 showers in a row, yeah, that pump's kicking on. This thing's really working. But you know, how often in your house is that water heater off? Like 22 hours. But it's still all working. So it's just those little tweaks that it's just been kind of fun to have one here so we can kind of play with it on my own house versus a client's. One of the things that we did with the house was we added to the top to be able to put better resin for the kids. And so this is a mansard roof that you can see from the house. It ends with the historic cornice down at this level. So the masonry wall comes up to about here. This is all set up with passive detailing that then comes up here. We used a plywood air barrier in this location and a plywood air barrier for the roof as well. AC plywood, A side on the inside, so it's smooth so it can accept tape. In this case, again, it was all Sega tape. This is a tilt turn simulated double hung window. A lot of people ask, you know, what does that mean? It means that it tilts, which these windows are open all the time. In this position, it has rained horribly multiple times, and we've been saved by the fact that it wasn't fully open. And then it turns as well. He also does this a lot, but for the most part, it lives in that position. And again, just if you can just hear the difference in sound. I mean, the birds are kind of nice, but sometimes it's oil trucks. The lack of mechanicals or need for mechanicals is one of the benefits to Passive House. So this Mitsubishi City Multi has been great. I haven't really needed it in the winter, but it performs well in the winter if we do need it. But what's cool is this is the only thing we have for the whole house that's doing all the heating, all the cooling, which allows us to have all this great rooftop space. And we're gonna wind up finishing the space, but you get all this space that would have otherwise have been multiple mechanicals for the cooling up here. I would have had a boiler downstairs. It's all those things that you're missing, and you get to have all this space without it.
So this space we love when it's nicer weather, and especially when we have huge gatherings. I mean, we've had up to 200 people in the house at one point.
We have a lot of parties.
Most of the time, though, our very huge gatherings are anywhere from 40 to 60 people, not 200.
We realized when we did the house that the house had an issue where the back facade was separating completely from the inside. It hadn't really been well maintained, and it was really weaving out, totally disconnected. So they actually removed all of the old brick by brick, cleaned it, rebuilt the wall, utilizing that brick, and put it all back up. Which again, we're reusing the material, we're reusing the existing joists in these houses, we're leaving them in place, we're using floors where we can, we're using brick where we can, just thinking about embodied carbon and what's been here. I mean, those bricks have been here forever, and they're in great shape. Thank you so much for coming on our tour with us of our passive house here in Brooklyn.
It's been a pleasure having you all, and we really enjoyed showing you around. It's been a very healthy and happy house here for our family.